Hi children, welcome back to this topic of trigonometric functions. I hope you remember we started with angle and arc lengths, where we just got acquainted with what is the units of measurements of angles, that is nothing but degree measure and radian measure. Then eventually we went into 14a and 4a and 4b, that deals with trigonometric functions. So basically we saw in the last session the sums related to 4a and 4b, where we did some proofs. We are acquainted with the standard identities formulas of trigonometry, and using that we proved some identities what is required to be done. Having said that, today what we are going to do is very important beginning on trigonometric functions, something new which you are not studied in class 10. Now I want to just put across some point before we proceed to those particular things, so that you have an idea of how to understand not only the concept but how to approach the sum. So basically what we are going to do, instead of explaining the concept through a practical point of view, I am going to take some sums and explain to you all those particular concepts. But before that, here the point comes up. The first thing what you have to understand is, now remember we are talking about trigonometric ratios. So when I say trigonometric ratios, it's a trigonometry, the ratio of the sides and the angle where the terminal arm is present. The first thing is any plane, okay? Any plane is always divided into 4 quadrants, that you are already aware. Now this part, it is 0 degree, this is 90 degree, this is 180 degree, and this is 270 degree, and you complete one rotation, that is 360 degree. So basically if you see in the anti-clockwise direction, the terminal arm moves and makes one complete rotation and covers up 360 degree. Now what is the idea behind showing you this particular plane dividing into 4 quadrants? This is called the first quadrant, this is called the second quadrant, this is called the third quadrant, and this is called the fourth quadrant. Now something very important I want to share. Any angle from a terminal arm moves from 0 degree towards 90 degree, that is in the first quadrant, the angles can be termed as 90 minus theta. I mean to say, any angle you can always say it is less than 90, so 90 minus theta. How you denote an angle in this quadrant? 90 minus theta, just for your understanding. In this case it will be 90 plus theta, right? Or you can say this is 180, so above, so 180 minus theta, any one will be appropriate. Similarly here, it is 180, third quadrant, the terminal arm is moving towards this side, so it completes one rotation here, 180 degree, and then goes this side, the third quadrant, so this is nothing but 180 plus theta, or you can say less than 270, it is 270 minus theta. Similarly, if I take the fourth quadrant is 270 plus theta, or you can say 360 less theta. Similarly here, 360 plus theta. Now immediately when I put 360 plus theta, you might ask me a question, so one rotation is 360 degree, why you went here? Because tell me, can you restrict the movement of the terminal arm? The terminal arm is, suppose if it is here, okay, if it is here, I mean to say here, now it can cover up this up to complete rotation, it can move further also. It can move further also. It can move further, so any number of rotations it can do. So that is nothing but what I want to share with you. I'll come to that point in the next few seconds. Before that, what I want you to know from this aspect of explanation is how you denote the quadrants in terms of angles. So 90 minus theta, 360 plus theta. 90 plus theta, 180 minus theta. 180 plus theta, 270 minus theta, and 270 plus theta and 360 minus theta. I am talking about one single rotation right now. Having said that, so first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, fourth quadrant. When I talk about a trigonometric ratio, this is the first thing we are talking about the sums based on exercise 4C. Any trigonometric ratio plus or minus sine theta. Now if you see the constituents of this, plus and minus always happens to you just because the angle can move in clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction, and at the same time, if depends on the value of the angle also, what is the sign of this ratio. Now coming to the point, what I want to share with you is, if you see a particular structure of a trigonometric function, remember this is one case, the 4C exercise is based on this, on theta 4D exercise is based on this. So anyway, coming to the point, let us talk about first the sign convention of an angle. There is a very, very important rule that in this case, add sugar to coffee. Now, what I want to share with you is, I want you to pay attention now. In the first quadrant, all trigonometric ratios are positive. So, when I say first quadrant means it can be 360 plus theta, where theta is an acute angle. Keep that in mind. Where theta is an acute angle, 360 plus theta or 90 minus theta. Similarly, if I talk about the second quadrant, here only sine and cosec are positive. Your tan and cot are positive. Your cos and sec is positive. You will see how we apply all those things. So that's not an issue here. What is important for you to understand is how you denote the quadrants in terms of angles. What is the convention of the sign? Because this is a very important aspect of trigonometric function. What is the concept of sign? So add sugar to coffee. When I say add sugar to coffee, all is positive. A for add, all. Then add sugar, sine and its reverse. What is sine? Reciprocal cosec. Both are positive. Baki all trigonometric ratio in this quadrant will be negative. Similarly here, proofs are not required. Okay, yeah, I think because of the reduction in the syllabus, they had asked us to directly go for the kill. So we will do that accordingly. Similarly here, 180 plus or minus theta, third quadrant, 180 plus theta and 270. Add sugar 2. 2 means tan. Tan and cot will be positive. Remaining all ratios will be negative. As we do the sums, it will get reimbursed in your mind. Similarly, your fourth quadrant, add sugar to coffee. So cos and reverse of it is nothing but positive. Remaining all trigonometric ratios will be negative. Anyway, having said that, I am talking about the sun. So add sugar to coffee rule. This is a very, very important rule. Remember this, you have to apply wherever you see the situation in this format. I mean to say, in every situation you have to consider this rule, add sugar to coffee rule. As you go on with the sums, you will understand more and more about it. Okay. Second point, before I proceed to the sums based on exercise 4C, which is basically focusing on the positive and negative sign or application of this rule. The sums are based on application of this rule. Short exercise, not a problem. Maximum sums I will cover up on the screen. Now, second point, very important point I want to share with you is, now this I want you to understand. Pay attention very carefully. Now, a very important point, as I had said, the terminal arm can rotate any number of times. It doesn't need to have only one rotation of 360 degree and stop. It can go 720 degree, 1025 and so on. So coming to the point, what I want to share with you is that we will see when we are studying theta in detail. Now what I am trying to do is, I will explain this part and just register in your mind. Suppose this is the initial arm and this is the terminal arm. So right now, suppose this is 30 degree. Now please understand this, okay? This is 30 degree, okay? 30 degree. Now suppose if I talk about sine ratio, sine 30. So sine 30 value, now this is the unit circle actually, right? This is a sine 30 degree. So sine 30 degree is nothing but 1 by 2. That means on the y-axis it is 1 by 2, right? Sine 30 degree is nothing but 1 by 2. Now what I want to share with you is, pay attention. Suppose this terminal arm, it moves and completes one rotation again. मतलब क्या? One rotation from this side. मतलब from this position it completes one rotation. मतलब how much angle it has covered? One complete rotation comes back to original position. It becomes 390 degree. Because see, first it has covered 30 degree and then it completes one rotation full. Because from this it comes back to the original position. What is the original position covering? 360 degree. So 360 plus initially it was already 30 degree. So this is nothing but 390 degree. You know the beauty of this is? The beauty of this is when sine 30 is half, it takes up it completes one rotation and comes back to its original position. Sine the 390, the position of the terminal arm remains the same as it was at 30 degree. That's why sine 390 is also half. Sine 30 is half and sine 390 is also half. Similarly, if it covers one more rotation, 360 degrees, so 360 plus 390, 360 plus 390, how much it comes to? 750. So at 750, this is 750, third rotation. So at 750, sine 750, so sine 30 is half, sine 390 is half, and sine 750 is also half. These are small pocket concepts which you should remember, because you might ask me later on, so why it became half as sine 30 is half yesterday. Because I said there is no restriction of angle, it can get any number of rotations. But the values of the trigonometric ratio doesn't change. It is 0, half, 1 by root 2, 0, 1 by root 2, 0, half, 1 by root 2, root 3 by 2 and 1. I hope you got this point clear. The issue is what I'm trying to say is, कि in one rotation it comes back to original position, the value of the trigonometric ratio with respect to its position remains the same. So sine 30 is also half, sine 390 is also half, sine 750 is also half. So what I want to share with you is, this is what related to the study on 4C, 4D. We are not doing that now, but we will see if time permits, we will complete that part also, just introduction. So anyway, now this is just for you to remember what is important. I take you back here, that is nothing but add sugar to coffee. I am talking about the sign convention. Now how the sums are to be done using the sign convention, all those things we will see in a couple of minutes from now. So pause and note it down. Hi. I think this is just, I summarized what is the first part, and what we are going to do is the sums based on exercise 4C. Okay. So add sugar to coffee. A shortcut to remember. It depends upon, it tells you or explains you the sign convention which we use for the trigonometric ratios. In the first case, any angle in the first quadrant, that is 90 minus theta or 360 plus theta, all are positive. Similarly, sine and cosec, remember second quadrant, 90 plus theta, 180 minus theta, sine and cosec will be positive sign. Similarly, here in the third quadrant, 180 plus theta, 270 minus theta, tan and cot will be positive. Similarly, here in the fourth quadrant, that is nothing but 270 plus theta and 360 minus theta is nothing but cos and sec will be positive. Add sugar to coffee. So the first thing is, there are some sort of conditional sums. I call them as conditional sum. Means what? They will give you the value of some trigonometric ratio, and they will ask you to find the value of the other trigonometric ratio or other expression what they ask for. So for example, suppose if I say, just relax, if I say sine theta is 3 upon 5. Okay, now this word is called conditional because they give you the value of some trigonometric ratio and they ask you some other things. Now for example, suppose if I ask find tan theta, second find sin theta plus cos theta upon sec theta. Simple working. There is nothing to play hide and seek with this concept. Simple concept. I am talking about the sin. Now, if you look, sin theta is a positive value. When I say sin theta is positive value, it has to be in first or second quadrant. So I just make your work a little bit easier. Theta belongs to second quadrant. Okay? Now they are asking you. Now these two informations they have given to you. They are telling if sine theta is 3 upon 5 and theta belongs to second quadrant, that is theta, the terminal arm is somewhere here, second quadrant. And remember, sine and cosec is positive, sine values automatically become positive. They are asking find the value of tan theta or find the value of some expression. Whatever it is, you have to keep in mind the right angle triangle concept. Now this I basically tell the children whenever it's a conditional sum, when they give you some value and they ask you some values, when they give you some value of trigonometric function, they ask you some values of other trigonometric expressions, you stick to a right angle triangle concept. Now what is this right angle triangle concept? Before we look at the question, I would suggest draw a right angle triangle. Okay? And you can denote this angle as theta. Now sine theta, the ratio is 3 upon 5. So basically it is Pythagorean triplet, there is no issue. So sine theta is 3 and hypotenuse is 5. What is your job is, always first find the missing side. Now remember this you apply when it is a conditional sum. That means they have given you the value of some trigonometric function, they ask you the values of other trigonometric expressions. So first find the missing side. You know by Pythagoras theorem it will be 4. How I get that 4? A square plus b square is equal to 5 square. So I can say that 3 square plus x square is equal to 5 square. So x square is equal to 16. So x equals to 4. 5 minus 4 cannot be the side because I am talking about the length of the side over here. Fine. Having said that, I got x equals to 4, I wrote here. Once you find the missing side, your 90% work is over. Now, out of focus. They are asking you tan theta. Remember, in 10th standard, you studied about the complementary angles only. Because the angle less than 90. So you did, whether you studied sine 30 or tan 30 or sine 45 or cos 45, all were positive because less than 90 means it is nothing but the first quadrant. But now what I said that this angle belongs to second quadrant, right? The terminal arm covers up an angle in the and terminal arm is lying in the second quadrant because it is more than 90. Because here everywhere theta is always an acute angle. Keep that in mind. Okay. First I found using this right angle triangle I found the missing sides. Now what I am going to do is I have to see theta is a second quadrant. Not only tan will be negative or positive. In the second quadrant, tan will be negative or positive. In the second quadrant, only sine and cosec is positive. Tan is all ratios are negative. So tan is negative. So minus. So tan theta. Now can you tell me what is tan theta value? Tan is nothing but perpendicular upon base. So answer is minus 3 upon 4. Sign convention very important. Okay. Now let us take the next expression now, which is equal to tan theta is 1. This is the combination of many trigonometric functions. So there is no problem. Whatever combination is there, you have to stick to the basic rules. Okay. Now what I do, just for my convenience, they are asking me the value of the equation sin theta plus cos theta upon sec theta. So sin theta is positive, right? I just put so that I don't commit mistake. Cos theta. Now remember theta is in the second quadrant. So cos is negative or positive? Second quadrant cos is negative or positive? Negative. Sec theta. Sec theta is reverse of cos. So by the way, second quadrant only sine and cosec is positive. So this is also negative. Now very simple to work. Let us see how I get the answer. Sin theta is already given to you 3 upon 5 plus cos theta. That's why I said use the right angle triangle concept. With this you can find any trigonometric ratio. Any trigonometric ratio. So cos theta is base upon hypotenuse. So that is nothing but 4 upon 5 upon sec theta. But by the way, I did some mistake here. What is that mistake? I'll tell you. Sin theta I wrote 3 by 5. If I write cos theta 4 by 5 means what? Cos theta is positive. But cos theta is positive which quadrant? Whereas theta is given where? It is lying in the second quadrant. So cos will be negative. That's why I put this sign. Negative or positive? Negative. So you will put minus 4 by 5. Sec theta is also negative. I'll just put across sec theta is negative here. So what happens now if sec theta is negative? Sec is reverse of cos. So reverse of cos is nothing but minus 5 upon 4. Just to simplify this out. That's it. So what happens here, this is nothing but minus 1 upon 5, the denominator remains the same, and this is nothing but minus 5 upon 4, take it up, it becomes 4 upon 25. Don't try to find out 4 and 25 in this figure, we are not concerned about that. What we are concerned is the full expression, this full expression value is nothing but 4 upon 25. So basically let me just recollect and recapitulate for you all. What I said, this is called as conditional sums. What are conditional sums? A value of a trigonometric function is given to you, the location is given to you. Okay, the location is given to you. So now there is a question in your mind. The location is given to you, I draw the right angle triangle, I find the missing sides from here. Once I find the missing sides, okay, don't worry, even though it's a missing side, I can find with this any expression ratio you can find, because you know all the ratios how it works. Sine is perpendicular upon hypotenuse, cos is base upon hypotenuse, you can say opposite, adjacent, whatever you want to call it off, there is no issue at all. But what I want to say is, these are called as conditional sums. That's what I want to share the message with you. With the conditional sums and the right angle triangle, after finding the missing side, any expression value you can find. But you have to be very careful that this is already given to you, theta is the second part. Now suppose, if I say theta is not given to you, in which quadrant? So then you should have your own idea. Sin theta is positive. Now tell me, sin theta is positive in which quadrant? Sin theta is positive in the first quadrant and the second quadrant. Because look at that, sin theta is positive 3.5. So that means there will be two sets of answers for this. So first quadrant as well as second quadrant. Find the expression. So first quadrant tan theta will be 3 upon 4. Right or not? And second quadrant accordingly you solve. The two sets of answers will come. So when it comes, I will share with you how we approach it. But right now what is important is how you begin with the question, how you finish up the missing side, and how you take the expression to its logical conclusion. I hope you got this point clear. Children, let us go and do some more examples, because the 4C exercise is completely dedicated to this type of thing, that is applying the sign convention to the trigonometric function with the right angle triangle. I hope you got this point. So children, now let us see the next question based on what we have done. Add sugar to coffee rule, exercise 4C. We are trying to work out with the sums. Now this is covering most of the part, but anyway, not an issue. So let us read the question first. Cos alpha is given positive. I am not worried positive, negative. Alpha is clearly mentioned fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant only cos and sec is positive, remaining all is negative. But at the same time, I understand that this some trigonometric function values are given to you, so it becomes a conditional sum. So conditional sum means some value is given to you, they ask you value of some expression. Whatever it is, you have to draw the right angle triangle and find the missing side. So what I will do is, pay attention now, this is alpha, and I think cos is nothing but this is 5, this is 13, this is nothing but 12. I think it's fine. I think 144 plus 25, 169 square root is 13. I am great. Now, when I want to find the value of some expression, what I suggest is, put the sign with a pencil, you can just mark out so that you don't commit mistake when you're directly applying the question into the question. Alpha is the fourth quadrant. So cot in the fourth quadrant is negative. Sec in the fourth quadrant is positive. And other trigonometric ratio is not there, so just work out with that. Okay, so let us see this part. So once you find the missing side, your job is done almost. So 2 minus 3. Cot is negative. What is the cot ratio? Adjacent upon opposite. That is 5 upon 12. Do you agree with this? Or is 12 upon 5? 12 upon 5 or 5 upon 12? 5 upon 12. Okay, cos. Okay. 5 upon 12. Now finally, what happens over here? Upon. Now let us see quickly what happens. 4 minus 9 square root of sec is reverse of this. So 13 upon 5 whole square minus 1. Okay, so I think I have to just work it out. So you can cancel it out. 3 1s are, 3 4s are, there is no issue. So 2 minus, this is minus sign here because cot is negative. So minus will be positive. This will become 4 to the 8. 8 plus 5. 13 upon 4 divided by, what will happen over here? This will be 4 minus 9 and eventually inside the root understand 169 minus 25, LCM we will do it. So 144 upon 5, so it is nothing but 12 upon 5. Once I find the square root of it, okay, I got the value answer. I read directly, there is no issue at all. Let us see what happens. So this will become 13 upon 4 divided by 5 fours are 20. Okay, 5 fours are 20. 20 minus 108. 20 minus 108 is minus 88. So minus 88 upon 5. So if you believe this, it will become 65 upon 4 is the 32. 4 is the 32. 352. I took this minus sign over here. So this is the final answer of this expression. So understand the application of it. We will do a good number of sums from exercise 4C. You don't have to practice it again. But what we are seeing in this exercise of 4C is conditional sums, where we see that how to use this application, the application of this rule. Okay, children. So pause and note it down. We will continue with the sums based on the conditions. Okay. Remember one thing, there will be some situations where the quadrant is not mentioned. So in that case, you have to consider both the quadrants and find two different answers for that. So as we go on, you will see. So please take it down. Okay, let's see this question here. Now here the situation is a little bit tricky, but not as tricky as I am making it appear to you all. Cos A is given 0.6. Find 5 sin A minus 3 tan. I would say the sum is not incomplete, but little bit shaky ground, because in both the previous examples what we did, they mentioned us that quadrant, which quadrant that theta lies. But in this case, they are not mentioned this A angle lies in which quadrant. So what you have to do is, what you have to do is, okay, first thing I'll just simplify this out. So this is a little bit not a workable format. So I can say cos A is equal to 6 upon 10, 3 upon 5. So cos A is 3 upon 5, not a problem. Now they are not mentioned which quadrant it is. So tell me, cos A is given positive. So cos is positive in which quadrant? In the first quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. So first quadrant and fourth quadrant. Because this is what I was mentioning in the previous sum. If they don't mention the quadrant, you have to get all the answers for which cos is positive. Okay. So first quadrant, the expression is same thing. They are asking find. So if 5 sin A minus 3 tan A, I think in the first quadrant, 5 sin A minus 3 tan A. Here also fourth quadrant is the same, 5 sin A minus 3 tan A. I am just working out in a better way for you. Now I told you, whenever a conditional sum is given to you, your first job will be to draw a right angle triangle and then attack and find the missing side. So I'll just go ahead with it and make it comfortable for you all. So this is nothing but A, you can take this as B, this as C. So cos A angle I am talking about. So cos is nothing but 3, this is 5, this will become 4. Once you find the missing sides, you have your distinct freedom to do it. You can do any ratio you can find. Now let us talk about first quadrant. Forget about this fourth quadrant. First quadrant, sine and tan. So sine and tan both are positive. Remember the sign, putting that sign is very important. So both are positive, I have no issue. So 5 into sine A. Now this is positive, first quadrant, because all trigonometric ratios will be positive here. So sine A is nothing but 4 by 5 minus 3 into tan A. Tan A is what? 4 by 3. So simple. So 5 4s are 20 upon 5 minus 12 upon 3. Find the LCM here. LCM is 15. This is 60 minus 60. Oh. Okay, as soon as 0, I also stop. But anyway, that's the thing which goes. Let me just check out once again. Now sine A is nothing but 4 upon 5. So 5 sine A. So 5 into 4 upon 5, 5 gets cancelled here. Okay, so 4 and 3 gets cancelled. I think it should be 0. Okay, the value of this expression is 0. Now let us come to that. Here I am talking about fourth quadrant. Now fourth quadrant, sine is positive or negative? It is positive. So sine is positive. Sorry, sine is negative. So I put a minus sign, and 3 tan A. Tan A is also negative. Put the sign so there is no coming mistake. So 5 into sine A. Sine A is negative here. So negative in the sense what happens? Minus 4 upon 5. You can take the values as it is. Minus 3. Tan A is negative, minus 4 upon 3. Now see what happens over here. So 5, 5, 3, 3 gets cancelled. That also you can do here also. So what happens over here? Minus 4 plus 4. Oh, this also 0. So in both the case, the answer is 0. So as I said, if the quadrant is not mentioned for that particular angle, you take all the possibilities where it will be positive. So as it is cos is positive. So cos is positive where? In the first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. So add sugar to coffee. Okay, I hope you got this point, children. So pause and note it down. The sum numbers I am referring to that exercise sum number, so that you don't have to repeat and do it again. You can just go through that one. Okay, so take the next question here. Tan A plus conditional sum sin A is equal to 3 upon 5, 2 or minus 2. Whatever the answer is, I'm not worried. So first I will draw the right angle triangle as per the case. Remember, this is A, this is B, this is C. I am talking about this angle. Here is 3, 5, the missing side will be 4. Now anyway, coming to a point, they are not mentioned which quadrant, because they are not mentioned A is in which quadrant. So sine is positive. Look, sine A is positive value. So sine is positive which quadrant? First quadrant and the second quadrant. So both the way you do first quadrant and second quadrant. Now first quadrant is the expression tan A plus 1 upon cos, we can say sec A. Similarly, here tan A plus sec A. Now, when I talk of first quadrant, all the trigonometric ratios are positive. So, tan A, what is tan A? Tan A is nothing but 3 upon 4 plus sec A. Sec A is reverse of cos. Sec A is reverse of cos. So, sec A, 1 second, tan A is positive, sec A is positive. Sec A is reverse of cos, that is 5 upon 4. How much it comes to 8 upon 4? Answer is 2. You already got this. Now, when I say second quadrant, so second quadrant, I want to find the expression value. So, tan A will be positive, because remember here it is clearly mentioned that it's not mentioned, that's why I took both the possible. So, if A, the terminal arm is in the second quadrant, like this, then tell me tan A will be negative and sec A also will be negative, right? So, tan A same thing, minus 3 upon 4, minus 5 upon 4, minus 8 upon 4, answer is minus 2. So it's not difficult. So conditional sums, keep in mind, always you find the values of any trigonometric ratio, you draw the right angle triangle, find the missing side. This right angle triangle concept will help you to find the value of any trigonometric ratio and apply it in the expression as I applied over here. So I hope you got this point, children. So pause and note it down. Okay, let us see the fifth question here. In the fifth question, I had given 3 subparts. Okay, there are 3 different values right now. Anyway, now coming to the point, what they had given us, sin theta is 21 upon 29, whatever the funda is. They then find the value of sec theta plus tan theta if, in the first case, theta is between 0 and pi by 2, theta lies between pi by 2 and pi, theta lies between pi and 3 pi by 2. So basically, 0 to pi by 2. Let us talk about the first question, but before that I told you a conditional sum is given to you. Draw a right angle triangle. Remember, this is 29, this is 21, you can put this as x. So you can find the value on your own. So basically how I go about it. So if you look at this, so x square plus 21 square is equal to 29 square. So x square is equal to 29 square minus 21 square. Don't need to find the value. X square is a square minus b square. 29 minus 21. 29 plus 21. Okay, try to understand this. So x square eventually will become, now this will become 8, this will become 50, 400. So what is x value? You can say x is nothing but 20. Square root of 400 is 20. So basically you can do it with the help of calculator, so let me not waste time on that. Anyway, coming to a point, I got the x value, I got the missing side, so that is nothing but 20. Now they are telling find the value of this expression when this theta lies in between 0 and pi by 2. Now when I talk about 0 and pi by 2, everybody knows that this is 0, this is pi by 2, 90 degree in radians, so that's why I just wrote it. So this is nothing but pi, this is nothing but 3 pi by 2, 270 degree. We had seen when we did introduction to trigonometric function. So basically they are saying find, instead of saying theta lies in the first quadrant, they say that theta lies between 0 and pi by 2. So between 0 and pi by 2 means first quadrant. So first quadrant, all are positive. So basically I will just write this expression here, sec theta plus tan theta. Just for your convenience you can put the plus sign. Sec is reverse of cos. Look at the figure. Sec is reverse of cos. So reverse of cos. Cos is what? 20 upon 29. So this will be 29 upon 20 plus. What is tan theta? Tan theta is nothing but opposite upon adjacent. I believe 21 upon 20. So 29 is 50 upon 20, that is 5 upon 2. So this is what the value of this expression. Now sign, putting the sign convention is a very important part which you have to keep in mind. Now let us talk about the second possibility. That is theta lies between pi by 2 and pi. Now tell me pi by 2 and pi in which quadrant? Second quadrant. So second quadrant, if the expression doesn't change, so it is sec theta plus tan theta. Okay, now between pi by 2 and pi, so between pi by 2 and pi, second quadrant sec is negative, tan is also negative, because in the second quadrant sine and cosec is positive, other all trigonometric ratios are negative. So basically what will happen now? The value sec theta remains as it is, but with minus sign, minus 29 upon 20, minus 21 upon 20, because both have minus sign. So once you do it, minus 50 upon 2, so answer is nothing but minus 5 upon 2. So let's take the next question. Theta lies between pi and 3 by 2, same thing, pi and 3 pi by 2. So pi and 3 pi by 2. So what happens? Pi is 3 by sec theta. Pi and 3 pi by 2, sorry, third quadrant we are talking about. Third quadrant. So sec theta plus tan theta. Expression remains the same, right? So sec theta, I think in the third quadrant, this is negative, right? And tan theta is positive, because pi and 3 pi by 2, pi and 3 pi, the angle lies in this quadrant, right? Okay. So I think it's very clear. So minus 29 upon 20. Try to find the value of the same values. Plus, this is a plus sign, plus tan theta. Tan theta I got how much? 21 upon 20. I think it's very clear now. The case is minus 9 upon 20. I think it's clear. Minus 8 upon 20. I'm sorry. Minus 8 upon 20. So 4 2s are 8, 4 5s are 20. So I believe it should be minus 2 upon 5. Check the calculation. Yes. We are doing the same funda, triangle convention, finding the values of the expression. This is what the 4C is completely built. Okay, so I hope you got this point clear. So pause and note it down. Okay children, this question is very similar to the previous one, which is last part of 4C. Okay, so what is important is A belongs to fourth quadrant. They are asking you to find the expression. I said before you talk about a question, what I want to do is just draw the right angle triangle. So this is, you can take as A, this is B, this is C. Right? Cos is nothing but 5, 13 and this is 12. Now, having said that, now once you finish with this, so how I go about it? First of all, that is A is fourth quadrant. So fourth quadrant, what is positive? Only cos and sec is positive, remaining all the other ratios will be negative. So you can put the sign for negative, sorry. Sec is positive, tan is negative, cosec is negative. This convention I am using just to ensure that you don't commit mistakes. Okay. Now let us start. Once you get the, I think 5 by 13, It is cos, so by Pythagoras theorem you got the missing side. So it is just a basic calculation into minus 12 by 13, right, plus 5. What is sec A? Sec is positive. Sec A is nothing but reverse of cos. So 13 upon 5, right? Okay. Then similarly 5 into tan A. Now what is tan A? Tan A is nothing but, I think tan A is opposite upon adjacent, but it is negative sign. So minus 12 upon 5. Don't forget the sign, otherwise you will just collapse in the sum. Plus 6 into cosec A. Cosec A is reverse of sine. So that is minus 13 upon 12. So I give you a minute, calculate on your own and tell me what is the answer. Calculate on your own. You should understand the conceptual part I explained to you, just do this simply. Use the calculator. Remember, the calculator which is allowed is FX82MS Casio. This model you can find, use it only. This only model you can use it, okay? The shopkeeper tells you by different models, but there is no name. My board doesn't allow it. Approve only this part. FX82MS model. Use this, it will become very simple to calculate. Okay, I will conduct a 15-minute session later on when time permits, if time definitely permit, to help you out how to use the calculator and explain to you properly. Okay, so tell me what is the answer for this. I gave you 1 minute for this particular. Please check it out. Tell me what is the answer. If you are getting answer minus 2 upon 37, give full marks to this maximum level question. Full marks. Okay, and give a big tick mark and show it to your parents of using this sum correctly. Anyway, coming to the point, children, I hope you understood the first thing, the sign convention I am talking about. Remember, I used to explain very much detail, but there is no need for you all to understand the details now. Of course, the application of this concept is more important than the depth of it. It is plus or minus sine theta. Now, this was the sign. Add sugar to coffee would be applied and apply the basic rules. Now what you are going to study is 4dx, right? That is this theta. Finding the value of a trigonometric function of an angle. It need not be restricted to 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree. It can be 135 degree. It can be 425 degree. It can be 750 degree. It can be 1050 degree. So what you are going to study now is, you are going to study t functions. How to find the value of t trigonometric functions of angles of any magnitude. Maybe remember, we can sine 30, sine 900, sine 1025, sine 750 and so on, and its application to the questions. So